Welcome. Welcome to the Crisis Report. Today we are going to take you through the crises of the day. This one is entitled LA ICE Riots. Whoosh. Welcome back, my friends, to the crisis that never ends. So glad you could attend. Come along, come along. Yes, we are going to be going through all of this. Thank you so much for being here. If you like what we're doing here, the best way you can do that is to support by being a member. And the membership has, gone down. It's definitely kind of tough out there with January and February and all the bills being, due. But for $2, 8 quarters every month, you can join us. And yes, there's not a lot of extra stuff that comes along with it, but when you are putting all this together for a lot of times hours a day, it helps when there's a little bit something. And if you were to look at the numbers in the background, they've gone down, not from views, not from interest, not from anything. But there is a bit of a concerted effort on this platform to make it so they hold on to as much money as possible. So when you join us as a member, and think about all the other memberships you have out there. Think about how expensive stuff is. Starbucks coffee is now what, $5, $6? That's one drink. By putting that $2, and I will never raise it, you're basically saying thanks. Thanks for the intel. Now, if you can't do that, because times are tough and we all get it, let a commercial play through, okay? When they have one. Even if it's one of those make your member grows. Like here I'm trying to make the membership grow. I'm just talking your member, okay? Because there's a lot of videos like that on YouTube, I've noticed, where it's an AI woman talking about her man's member. You can help by hitting the mute button, but letting that thing play through, okay? So that's another way. Anyway, I appreciate all of you coming here. For those that didn't know, I announced on PrepperNow, which is getting the business. I don't know. I know you guys don't care, but when you see literally like everything change on a one-day notice, like that's not the way human beings work. We don't all in lockstep decide that we're just not going to watch a channel anymore. It means that they go back there and they start twisting the knobs and stuff and doing the little things that they do. That's why you don't get notifications. It's why you don't get, no subscribers grow. They unsubscribe. Basically what they do is they say, okay, this is one of those channels we don't like because they're being truthful and we don't like the truth. What happens is they go back and they twist the algo into a certain way where I'm not seen. So it's not that everybody on December 21st just decided we don't like PrepperNow anymore, which is funny because the subscribership was still going up, but the views have basically cratered to about 1,500 to 2,000, which is about what this channel gets, and it's got 1/4 the views. So clearly over there is some concerted effort by people of a lesser mind. So by being a member here and being a member there and doing all those things, really does help. But I announced over there that my mom had fallen and broken her hip, and it is official. She not only broke it, she dislocated it. So she will have surgery in the morning. But from what my wife has heard, being a former ER nurse and now medical professional for, a big big group. She's okay, all things considered, and will be moving on in the right direction. She's feisty. She's like me. You think I'm feisty? I get it from my mom. I don't get it from my dad. So, yeah. So just be praying for her. Many other people have. I actually spoke to Modern Refugee on the phone. You want to talk about a good human being. Modern Refugee is a very good person. I can kind of tell who my people are. And he immediately contacted me after. I just want to say, if you're not subscribed to him, please do it. He is a good human being. And so, here we are. Okay, let's get going. There's a pretty good amount. Nothing crazy. Not like last night. Last night was a 36-hour one, so it's about 45 minutes. This one should be in the 25 to 30-minute range. So we're going to get started so I can get to bed and get a good night's sleep. And I might be going down. If things get a little bit more thick for my father, I might go down, or my wife actually might go down and kind of help them navigate stuff. So we'll see how that all goes. But I appreciate y'all. It is nice to be able to come here and have a group of people that I can kind of, dump on, really. So you're all very valued to me. You're good people. And, I started this 2020. March 27th, 2020, I think is when the whole PrepperNow phenomenon started. And it's really cathartic. And I don't know. I'm just lucky. I'm lucky to be able to come here and do this. So, and that's not because of me. That's because of you. I just turn on the mic and start talking. But you guys are the ones that make all of this happen, because if you didn't have interest, if you didn't come here, if you didn't hit the buttons and stuff and keep showing up and, maybe from time to time chuck me a few bucks and everything, because this is a side hustle and it takes me away from my family. I'm not here at 11 p.m. on a Sunday evening because I like doing things at 11. I do it because it's around my family, but also my family needs this. They do. We need it. We need like you do. Like I'm sure all of you need extra money too. So I don't make a lot here, but it's enough to turn on the lights and do stuff. So when you pitch in, it really helps. All right. There's your PSA. God bless you all. Here we go. Crisis Report 2225, LA ICE riots, and more. Mexico announces retaliatory tariffs against the United States. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau urges Canadians to skip vacations in the United States and choose to vacation within Canada as a response to Trump's tariffs. Vacation in Canada last year, July and August. It's a beautiful place. They're nice people. Russian President Putin claims that Europe's elites will soon bow to Donald Trump and eagerly show their loyalty. Senator Lindsey Graham will vote for the Senate confirmations of Robert F. Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, and Kash Patel. I didn't put it here. I forwarded it to my Telegram folks. There's a very interesting tweet from General Michael Flynn, who basically said, all of you out there in the ether, you deep state POSs, you better get in line and let these three people get in there, or all HE double hockey sticks is going to be unleashed upon you, and you will inherit the wind. So, very interesting, but I guess there's a little bit of a war going on in the background. A leaked email from John Brennan confirms that the 51 intelligence agents signed the infamous letter solely to provide Biden with a basis to mislead Americans and secure the election. By the way, he was a Communist USA member in the 80s. Trump can bring Putin to the table by threatening him with sanctions on the energy and banking systems and continued support for our military. Trade war. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced a 25% tariff on $155 billion worth of goods for the United States. Trudeau's message to Americans: from the beaches of Normandy to the mountains of the Korean Peninsula, from the fields of Flanders to the streets of Kandahar, we have fought and died alongside you during the darkest hours. China has announced plans to file a complaint with the World Trade Organization and take retaliatory measures following Trump's tariffs. Danish Foreign Minister Rasmussen says 80% of Greenland residents do not want to join America. It is up to them to decide their fate. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has also ordered retaliatory tariffs on the United States. Shared a graphic with my Telegram people. 32% of GDP in Mexico is reliant upon America, whereas 1.2% of American GDP is reliant on Mexico. Conversely, Canada, 25% of their GDP is reliant upon America, whereas America, 1.5% is reliant on their contributions and imports and stuff. So just so everybody has a very clear picture, America is in control of that right now. It just depends on who's going to blink first. But think about that. It's a third, it's a quarter of your everything, or it's 1/40th of your GDP. I think I know who I'd bet on that one in that race. Lockheed Martin aims to deliver 190 F-35s in 2025. This would be a significant increase compared to 2023 and 2024, when Lockheed delivered only 98 and 110 jets, respectively. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan. Israeli obstacles to delivering aid to Gaza must be ended. Clashes and conflicts will continue unless the Palestinian issue is resolved through a two-state solution. Never going to happen. First civilian passenger plane landed in Deir ez-Zor after 14 years. First civilian flight took place to the airport after the fall of the Assad regime and the end of the YPG-PKK occupation. There is a rumor in the background, I formally reported on it, that they have asked to have the delivery of Bashar al-Assad by Russia, and by doing so, they'll receive their ports and their places to be militarily back, and that is being explored. More than 20 buildings have been blown up by Israeli army in Jenin in the West Bank. Trump is certain that Canada will cease to exist as a viable country and urges them to join the United States as the 51st state. He said, will there be some pain? Yes, but will it be worth it to make America great again? We are not going to be the stupid country any longer. Houthi leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi said, we are ready to return to escalation against Israel if it breaks the deal with Lebanon and Gaza. We call on Arab and Islamic countries in the international community to shoulder their historical responsibilities and stop the occupation's crimes that threaten international peace and security, according to Hamas. Netanyahu says, I believe that working closely with President Trump, we can redraw the map of the Middle East even further and for the better. Biden administration, final act of provocation. The Turkey-Russia nuclear power plant deal was signed in 2010, full 12 years before the Ukraine war, yet $2 billion. Holy crap, Lonnie Beatty. Dude, that's a lot, man. Now, I asked you this before. I said, are you sure? Because you did this like 3 weeks ago. And I just, like, you don't have to do that. I'm talking like $2 from my people. Not you, fueling a city's worth of people's subscribership. Dude, that is just, to reiterate from Rob Keith, damn. Wow, man. I'm speechless. Thank you. That's nuts. So, thank you. I need to start over. That was unexpected and incredibly gracious from you. So, thank you, sir. I don't know what else to do. A digital hug. There it is. Thanks, dude. Biden administration, final act of provocation. And by the way, if you want to rescind that, you don't have to do that. You can take it back. So, and if you want to tell the story of why you did it last time, this time, which he did, he said his wife, basically, they get their information from me, and they were just very thankful. And so he his wife passed away, God bless her, and he said he's going to do this from time to time. So I can't thank you enough, man. Turkey-Russia nuclear power plant deal was signed in 2010, a full 12 years before the Ukraine war. Yet $2 billion in Russia funds allocated for this project has been frozen for 3 years without any legal basis. Gazprom Bank was not under U.S. sanctions until November 2024. Rosatom was only sanctioned in February 2024, years after the deal was signed. The Akuyu project is entirely legal and predates the war. This isn't about law, it's about politics. The Biden administration has deliberately blocked these funds as a geopolitical weapon, not out of legal necessity. With President Donald Trump back in power, this is the Biden people's final provocation, an attempt to sow discord between Trump and Turkey by using financial institutions as tools of coercion. I mean, Biden, as he was leaving, was basically letting the whole place, lighting it on fire. And that's indisputable. They did everything they could to leave as many landmines as possible for the incoming administration. Did you ever think why we were annual measure of government expenses in different fields as a percentage of GDP instead of just a percentage of the annual budget, which would all make sense? Well, this has no economic reasoning whatsoever. It only helps to trick you into thinking that certain expenses are way smaller than they actually are. And that is the truth. It is a financial chicanery, as we affectionately call it here. Trump admits tariffs will have consequences for the U.S. as well. Reporter, you promised Americans you would try to reduce the costs. Trump said, tariffs don't cause inflation. Tariffs cause success. There could be some temporary short-term disruption, and people understand that. UAV strike on the Lukoil refinery in the city of Volgograd, Russia, causing an explosion. Massive anti-government protest yesterday evening, February 2nd, in Niš, the third largest city in Serbia, inspired by the student protests who have continued for almost 2 years. Anti-deportation protest happened in downtown Los Angeles, where cops have blocked the way towards the city center. 80% of the fentanyl drug traffic from Mexico to the United States is carried out by Americans. This is according to Jesus Garcia, political editor of the newspaper La Opinión and expert on security issues. I have not been able to vet that or check it. I don't know if it's true or not. One thing we know is that the fentanyl is not made in America. It is using precursors from Canada and then final production from China, and then it goes down through Mexico and comes up through our gut. So as much as it might be Americans that are doing it, every single person that is tied to this needs to be arrested and thrown into jail, and literally, as far as I'm concerned, they should be treated as if they are murderers. Because if you have any clue how many people are dying from this crap every day, they are murderers if they are perpetuating it in its sale on our streets in America. And as far as I'm concerned, they should receive the fucking death penalty. Situation is escalating on the streets of Los Angeles, where a glass bottle was thrown at LAPD officers. Thousands of protesters are getting closer to the police line while authorities are demanding that they stay back. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky admits that $100 billion in U.S. taxpayers' funds have mysteriously disappeared. He claims that while $170 billion was promised, only $70 billion has been received, leaving the rest unaccounted for. I don't know where all the money is. Why, is that a quote from Donald Rumsfeld from about 23 years ago? 24 years ago? I can't tell. Yeah, go look that one up. After Canada, the EU is next. Trump says he will absolutely impose tariffs on the European Union. U.S. has issued an ultimatum to Panama, according to Axios. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio presented the president of Panama, Jose Raul Molino with an ultimatum while meeting yesterday. If Panama does not take immediate action to remove the Chinese from the Panama Canal, then the United States will take measures necessary to protect its rights under the Torrijos-Carter treaties. To Mr. Molino, I say, chengate. Canada's dollar falls to lowest level since 2003 amid new U.S. tariffs. Relations between Canada and the United States are deteriorating by the minute. Canadian crowd has booed the U.S. national anthem at an NBA game in Toronto. Israel Prime Minister and international fugitive Benjamin Netanyahu has landed in the Washington, D.C. area to meet with President Trump. Jimmy Carter won a Grammy Award, and no, they're not joking, that actually did happen. U.S. Secretary of State Rubio told Panama President Molino that Trump has determined that China's influence and control is a threat to Panama Canal, State Department spokesperson told Reuters. Trump administration has revoked temporary protected status for more than 300,000 Venezuelans in the United States. Mexican President Sheinbaum called on Mexicans living in the U.S. that if they want to return to Mexico, they will be welcomed with open arms. Bienvenidos, amigos. Vas a Mexico, por favor. I think that's great. Go back. I mean, you're already flying their flags and stuff. Okay? Orale. Leave out. Go. Vámonos. Mark Rutte, NATO's Secretary General, says we must prepare for war. That is the best way to avoid it. Europe should not show weakness towards Russia. Germany must spend more and produce more. This will be clearly the debate in many European countries in the coming months. Passengers on a United Airlines flight from Houston to New York evacuated after the plane caught on fire on the runway. United States Marines arrived at Guantanamo Bay to support housing of illegal aliens, according to the White House. Scientists are predicting that a mile-deep volcano off the United States West Coast will erupt this year, according to ABC News. Mexican peso and Canadian dollar have crashed following U.S. President Trump's new tariffs. Panama's president has terminated the country's Panama Canal agreement with China right after a meeting with the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So, I guess what he's doing is working. Over 8,000 U.S. government web pages have been removed in accordance with President Trump's directive to eliminate DEI and gender ideology from government operations because they have no freaking place in there. I don't care what you are, who you are, how you think, whatever. Go to your job, show up on time, do your work, STFU, go home, and then if you want to put acorns up your butt or whatever, do it, but leave me out of it. Illegal immigrant protesters now numbering in the thousands and outnumbering police officers are throwing glass bottles at the Los Angeles Police Department. This is the latest in the SMO in the southern part of Donetsk Oblast. Fighting continues, as in the previous days, with a focus on Dakhnia and Madrivka. The Russians are also continuing their attacks in the direction of the Dnepropetrovsk Oblast. Russian ground troops are reported to have advanced into Sribnya and Uspenivka. In the direction of Toretsk, the Ukrainians are leaving a dangerous partial encirclement and moving to safer positions in Shekherbunivka. An above-average number of battles are already also currently taking place in the direction of Seversk. Geolocalized images show that the Russians are advancing in the Verkhono-Kamyansky and have captured a wooded area along the fields south of Bilohorivka. At the bridgehead on the Oshkil River, the Russians have taken further positions in the fields between Dvorshnya and Zapazhnya. Cold War 2.0, folks. Hezbollah says to hold funeral for its slain Secretary General and senior leader, Hassan Nasrallah, on February 23rd. Vice President Vance says Mexico sends ton of fentanyl into our country. Canada has seen a massive increase in fentanyl trafficking across its border. There are 3 ways of stopping this. The first is to ask nicely, which we've done. It's gone nowhere. And now we're on the consequences phase. Spare me the sob story about how Canada is our best friend. I love Canada and have many Canadian friends, according to J.D. Vance. But it is the government meeting that NATO target for military spending. But is the government meeting their NATO target for military spending? No. Are they stopping the flow of drugs into our country? No. I'm sick of being taken advantage of. I think we all are. I think we all wanted Orange Man bad to get in there and do what he's doing. You know, when you're sitting there and you're rolling up and you see a group of undocumented new neighbors, they're sitting there arrogantly, like, buying whatever the heck they want, and they think that they're, like, the protected status over you, the American taxpayer. Kind of pisses you off. So, we'll see. Yeah, we're all sick of being taken advantage of. Protesters in the Georgian capital, Tbilisi, partially blocked the exit from the city. Law enforcement officers detained several participants in the anti-government protest. Earlier, the protesters were warned that the entrance to Tbilisi is a strategic road of international importance. LAPD are currently attempting to force anti-ICE protesters away from their way towards the crypto.com arena where the Grammys are being held. U.S. protests as LAPD lost control over a large part of the downtown Los Angeles. Anti-ICE protesters are gassed by cops with toxic substances. Now, those toxic substances, that's called tear gas. And you do that when people are violent and chucking bottles, okay? It's not toxic. They're not releasing arsenic into the air, okay? So this World War III info douchebag, Mr. Communist German himself, why don't you shut up and go and take one of your new neighbors in your lovely city of Berlin or wherever the heck in Germany it is you live, and put them into your room, put them into your bedroom, dude. Put yourself out. You're so wanting them to be there. Go help them out. Stop pissing and moaning online about all this and your friggin' Trump derangement syndrome, and go start putting some of them in your bedroom, put them into your living room, put them in your kitchen, let them eat your food, and house them. You put up the bill for them. You pay for all the social chaos that happens, okay? Because I think the rest of us are freaking tired of it, to be honest with you. I know I am. We shouldn't even be here right now. So if anybody in the background is wondering why the leftists, the progressives, the progressive fascists, and that's what they are getting their butt kicks right now, and the pendulum is swinging so hardcore back, it's because we're tired of it. We're tired of it. Most people are not crazy. They see what's going on. They can read the writing on the wall. And they want things to get back to normal. That's all. We want normal. It's not a hard ask. So hopefully for you it was as cathartic as it was for me, because I know they're not going to listen. I know this guy will keep doing what he's doing. There's a reason he's losing subscribers. I hold my nose and go to his information now, but my God. I can't believe some people are so void of common sense. So, all right, that is your crisis report. As we covered earlier, please consider becoming a member here. It really is helpful and just keeps the lights on. When I get super important stuff, I put it in the community notes for you guys first. So it's up to you. And if you like what we're doing, but you're broke, let a commercial play through, you know? All right, friends, God bless. Stack, stock, stick to the plan. Keep your head in the swivel when you're proud to drive. If you'd like to join us on X or Minds or Gab or X, Minds, Gab, I'm missing one. Truth, Social. You can do that. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you here, though, on YouTube as well. So, God bless, friends. Stay out of trouble. Keep doing the things. And we'll see you on the next one.